Sorry about blasting the music, kids. Just getting the cat settled, and I will be with you shortly. What is going on, people? I have no idea if my sound's right. Tippy has been dancing on the soundboard. And I've tried to get my iPad, like I always do, set up with chat, and I've got no chat in my iPad. So as I try to make progress, which I have, and we'll talk about that. But yeah, the iPad's not doing it for me. I don't know why. I must have chat turned off. Let's see. Sorry, guys. I hope everybody's having a fantastic Tuesday. And I am glad any of y'all that are here are here. I know it's late, not as late in certain parts of the country, but late nonetheless. All right, I've got no chat, so the iPad's going off. Boom. Space Ghost, thank you, brother. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Man, it has been yesterday was a crazy day for somebody who never deals with any kind of stress, and that's why I've got my Mexican pizza as my reminder. I'm convinced that it's kind of like the love of my life just turned on me. Marco, good to see you, brother. Be Shady, channel member, one of the coolest Instagram posters. If you're not following him, get all over that. Neil McKenzie, channel member, what's up, brother? Space Ghost, what is up? NFK20, good to see you, buddy. Major Powell, welcome, welcome, my man. Also a channel member. Mark H, what is going on, buddy? We got brother Paul Mills in the house. No more Taco Bell for a while, dude. And I'll tell you, it was a weird situation all the way together. I'm thinking about letting Chat GPT because I don't have the energy or the fucking stamina to write the letter to Taco Bell corporate. But I'll tell you the story. Don't let me forget. Not a knife story, but it's worth it. And I've got some cool knife stories too. What's up, Snow Trog? Good to see you, buddy. I think I was dropping you comments last night with an O instead of a zero, but I have a hard time working in the chats with my iPhone with the tiny keys because it doesn't. If you're on your laptop, all you have to do is type the at and the first few letters of who you're talking to, and it'll populate it. And that's the way to go. I just don't have a laptop close to me. I keep my iPhone and then my Apple TV, and it's just a thing. So anytime I type something stupid, don't think that I'm butchering your name on purpose. It's just me being an idiot with not very thin thumbs. Double D10 channel member, what is going on, brother? 76. Well, I wonder what that is. Are you 76? I wonder if that's when you graduated. I wonder if that's when you were born. I wonder if that's, I don't know. I wonder. Mirsal, what's going on, buddy? And I enjoyed, I hated, and I tried to reach out to Pocket Metal. I need to check my Instagram. I'm sure he's got stuff going, but I've sent him a link. He got in touch with me to see if I could join. And what happened is, long story short, and then I'll get back to saying hello. I woke up, everything was good. Woke up probably about, I don't know, 9 o'clock, because I don't go to bed till late. And then I get up at like 9 and usually go back to bed. But I was just drenched in sweat. Just, it was bizarre. It was just like I was sweaty. Everything felt fine. I didn't feel sick or anything. I was just like uncomfortably sweaty, and something was weird. And then I was just like instantly feeling, and let me backtrack about 8 hours when I was driving home Sunday night. I had this weird thing going on in my stomach, right? And I didn't really know what it was. It wasn't really painful. It just kind of felt like some unnecessary movement. Needless to say, it was a sprint, a dead sprint, first thing yesterday morning from bed to bath, and it was just brutal, and stayed brutal, like pretty hardcore brutal, to where I had to like pound Gatorade because I thought I was going to turn into a raisin and die. Um, about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. So when Pocket Metal reached out, I was looked like a disheveled mess, which is fine. I could have thrown on a hat, but I just still, I don't know how to say this in a kind way, but I'd not yet had the confidence that I would not have an incident, right? And I'm not going to do the adult diapers, not going to do any of that, not going to try not to sharp myself. But it was brutal, guys. Didn't feel bad. but you just realize how fragile our ecosystems are. So anyway, the story, the weirdness part of it is, I always get burned by Taco Bell late night. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna go. Um, I'm gonna go about 5 o'clock. I'm gonna go early. This is Sunday. I'm gonna go early while they're fully staffed. I know they'll have Mexican pizzas. Everything will be a-okay. I take off. I get there. I get to the drive-through. The parking lot's kind of unusually full, and I'm thinking, good, they're staffed up. And I go into the drive-through, get to the window, or not the window, the little electric ordering booth thing, and the chick says, "Would you mind coming inside?" And I just fucking cold stared the because there's no camera that I could see because I was looking for a camera to cold stare. I said, "Whatever." So I just drove off. I didn't want to deal with it. And I said, "Well, wait, I've driven all the way over here." So I circled the block. It's not much, but it's just you turn from it's just get on the main road, double back in, came in. But I know she saw me turn out, right? So she's probably thinking, "Oh, fuck him," that's what I'd be saying because I was kind of an asshole, to be honest with you, because it was an inconvenience. But then I made the mistake of showing myself re-entering the premises. So not that it was a malicious attempt to dose me with something not so lovely. It was a weird thing because how often do you go to a drive-through? The speaker works fine. The employee's talking to me there, but I can't order. I don't get it. And you know, I guess I should have learned if you're going to have an opinion, don't go in and order a couple of Mexican pizzas. Although I don't think it could have had nothing to do with that. It could have just had nothing to do with that. It could just be a fluke. But anyway, Ron Dobbins, what's up? I am better. It could have been a 24-hour bug too. That's the other thing. I've had those once in a blue moon, where you just have 24 hours where your stomach's shit and maybe that was it. But this had some pretty intense sweating with it. I'm saying I sweated off about 2 pounds, and I probably didn't have that to sweat off. But I'll get it back. I'll do it with something more mild and not as ethnic. Not ethnic. That's not the word I'm looking for. Joseph S., what's up? Something more bland. Bland was the word I was looking for. Not the name bland, but the flavor palette, maybe some barbecue. I think some good just pulled pork would fill the bill. Todd Carr, what is up, my man? Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. But I hated missing it. And I stayed in chat for about, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes as long as I could. And I would have loved to have stayed there. I needed to sleep. I wonder if I push play, if it'll show me the chat. I just want the chat on my iPad so I can pull it up. And that way, when we go look at stuff, because there are a couple of cool things worth looking at that I found today. Let's see, where's the guy? There it is. Nope. I'm gonna kill that. All right, it's just not gonna let me work with it. I'm in Chrome now, so I thought that would have remedied my issue. I apologize, guys. All right, we close that out. That's a done deal. Boom. I hope you guys had a good day. Grizzly Bear Leathercrafting, what is up, dude? I saw some we need to go to Instagram here in a second, but Grizzly Bear had some pretty cool billfolds. I don't know if you call them billfolds. That's what my dad used to call them. And I spend a lot of time with him now. It's a trip. That's a whole nother story. But they're pretty slick, pretty slick. Ground Fog, what is up? Mark H, what is up? Good to see you guys. Good to see all you guys. I got you, buddy. Get up early. Hey, but I appreciate y'all being here. I know these Tuesday night things that I'm kind of committed to trying to do every Tuesday night while I'm not working a full-time real corporate type job where I've got the flexibility is I don't expect a lot of people to be here, but that's the whole point, right? It's the people that are not doing anything that want to hang out. I want them to have a place to hang out. I like hanging out with you guys. I don't have anything else to do, and y'all teach me shit every day. Plus, I just have fun jumping around and, letting my mind. I think it's a good workout for my brain. I'm surprised you guys are even here. Ed, what is going on, channel member? Speaking of Ed, I'll do that in a second. Has anybody heard from Brother Harrison? Iron Butterfly, channel member, good to see you, buddy. I hope I'm not missing anybody. Addicted to Blaze, I did miss you. Addicted to Blaze too, good to see you, buddy. I need to check your channel to make sure. Hold on one second, guys. I'm flitting around real quick. But I want to share this with you. Let's see. Where was it? Where was it? Boom. I know you all follow Addicted to Blades too, but I'm going to post that link. And all of y'all are moderators. Do not feel the reason you guys are moderators are A, to help me if the steel toe people come after me. I won't get into that lore. What's up, Kyle Coonley? But there's a good chance the steel toe weirdos, I've been participating in the chat roasting Aaron Imholt. I got banned today from there. So they know I have a channel. And I know they're a little clique of just crazy. I don't even got a couple of screen names written down. It's funny shit, guys. I mean, so I'm keeping my eye out. But the reason you've got a wrench is if people with either racist sounding names, a little play on racist names, or but whole joke in their name, we probably want to kick them out. They're up to no good. But in either case, that's kind of funny. But the reason y'all have wrenches is to share your shit, right? Share your channels, share your Instagrams, make sure y'all are all connected the way that you want to be connected, right? Because what I found is it's tricky. I won't call out Mayor Salt, but I just see his name right there where he says Imodium's my friend. Dude, I did nothing yesterday except took the risk of drinking Gatorade just to have the electrolytes. I want to just keep fluids in me, which was like just priming a faucet. But I felt like that was part of the cleanse, and it subsided by the end of the day, like I was saying. But my point is, on Instagram, it's not as easy to find each other if you haven't found each other. Like if you just meet and chat, yeah, a lot of times you can go search for Kyle, but there are easier ways to find him. He's easy. And Mayor Salt, you probably, I know you're something sewage, or what is it, Mayor Salt? I forget. Anyway, share your links. That's what it's for. You're not being spammy. Dude, it's just you get to the window. It takes a conscious effort for me to go there anyway, right? Because I know it's not good for me. But to get there and then be told I've got to come inside, which I didn't really want to do, I really didn't care. But that's the point of a drive-through, because you don't fuck with anybody inside. So, I could have got a 24-hour bug in there for all I know, and the pizza was fine. Even though now I've got this mental image, I should probably change the Mexican pizza out to my sit and spin because it looks delicious. Even though it's hard to even think that I would eat that again. Gabe Harlan, happy early National Knife Day. That's right, guys. That's something else that I'm not prepared to share, and I should be. I will do show prep one day. Drink water channel member and good brother. What are you doing, man? Good to see you. But with it being National Knife Day, Fed Harrison, you're here. Dude, I meant to text you this afternoon. You know me. I've got ADHD brain out the yin yang. I hope you're feeling better. I know Paul's fighting through I think that rhinovirus is out kicking people's ass. Normally, Charlie, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Good to see you. But yeah, guys, take care of yourselves out there. Be careful. Don't complain at drive-throughs and then go inside and eat and expect to be treated equally. And go back to, which I need to, my Michael Upchurch, what's going on? Channel member. Dude, you hang in there. Let me tell you something. I did not get sober till I was 46. That was 8 years ago, over 8 years ago. I got my 8-year, May 17th was my birthday, so to speak. Actually, ironically, after the first meeting I went to at the Unity Group in Huntsville, Alabama, where I went consistently for 2 years, with chair meetings, went 3 days a week, which everybody told me I needed to go to more, but I couldn't find other groups, and it was my journey, right? So, Yellow Cat's here. I'm gonna have to feed it here in a second. I'm gonna have to take a couple-minute break. But, yeah, you just hang on, buddy. It's one day at a time. Don't get overwhelmed with it, and know that, unfortunately, relapse happens, but it doesn't have to. You've got good people around you. Use your numbers, use your support group, use people in the chat, use me. Reach out to me via DM. I'll drop my phone number to you. If you ever want to talk, you call me up. We'll talk about it. I've been there. I've seen it. Paul, what's going on? And I think a lot of us in the community have either been touched by it or have dealt with it personally. A lot of the closest people I've met, it's not because of addiction, but we share that commonality. I think there's something about collecting shiny, sharp shit that probably parallels with the same dopamine triggers that caused us to do other things. And we're all here. Some of us are still struggling. And like Scab says, never quit trying to quit. For me, it was one of those things where I realized it wasn't sustainable. I didn't hit any kind of, I hit a life-changing roadblock, but I didn't hit any legal issues, any employment issues. It was just, it was, the suggestion of a marriage counselor that led me to a psychiatrist which led me to a bunch of testing, which, led me to one meeting that made me realize I wasn't alone and I was a fucked up individual. Cause I knew that. I mean, I'd been doing it without any kind of ramifications since I was probably 13 or 14, drinking. We were young in the neighborhood to drink, but I came from a German family. My mom and my grandparents, I've told you guys, they were Operation Paperclip people. So I would get to drink beer when I was 7, 8 years old. Not in excess, but 2 beers for a kid when you're drinking it from Germany when it's got God knows how much alcohol. Paul McConley, I also hope I said hey to you. Messer HQ, good morning, brother. Where are you again? I forget. How far behind am I? You showing up right before. Well, that's why I showed up Sunday early. That was the weird thing about it. Sunday I showed up like at supper time when most people would be there. That's why I was surprised that the lot was so full, but it was so full because they were leading everybody in the Bless Knives, good to see you, buddy. Sit and spin. Don't y'all remember that toy? Let me see which one I've got on the thumbnail. I forget. But don't y'all, when I was a kid and I grew up, when I was that age, it was the 70s. So I had the original big wheel with the plastic rears. It was just sick. The plastic front wheel where you turn and you just go straight into the wall because it had no grip, and you had the little handbrake. But the sit and spin was where I got my first, either that or a swing. That's where I got my first altered consciousness. It was a toy that was designed to just catch you a buzz. You just sit on it and you'd work that wheel and it'd make you spin around, right? And I kind of thought that was cool. Let me see if I could share this because I had a thumbnail I was going to use um, today, and this will show you because this is actually a kid sitting on a sit and spin, and I was going to use this as my intro screen. I think I might have blocked him out though. Let me see. We're going to go in here. Let me find that little fat kid. Nothing wrong with being. I should have said that. That was body shaming. Let me find this little kid. Hold on. All right, I'm going to go in here. I'm going to go. How do I replace that? Bear with me, guys. This is worth it if I can get in there. Well, screw it. I'm in the app now, not in the Hmm. Yeah, screw that. I'm used to doing it in my phone. I was gonna pull up the little kid spinning, but it's a sit and spin. I'll show you one. 70s toy. And it lived well outside the 70s. So you kids probably had one or you're here it is from not here's a commercial. This is what locked me in. And I'll get copyright struck for this. I got a copyright strike, which is not a bad thing. I'm not getting the malicious one where it's a takedown or it's a takedown ass. So that's the sit and spin. And that's exactly what my hair looked like in 77. That was about the age of me. But that's you do that and you'd get all dizzy and your friends would come in and y'all all be raving. So you take turns on it and you get buzzed together. Totally inclusive. Sharing is caring. And they're all dizzy. It's all like they're on laughing gas. So yeah, that's the sit and spin. That's where this little random title came from, right? That's where I adopted that from. And I didn't know if that picture was recognizable because to me it is. I remember opening that bad boy because it came in a flat box because of course you had to put the neck stem in it, but I didn't know what it was. I got it for Christmas in 78, maybe 77. I don't remember. I do remember getting my first. It was a great toy. We had the best toys. I mean, you think about what, and I'm sure the dollar. I don't think the dollar was necessarily harder to come by that in those days. But you think about the type of toys you could get from the Sears catalog or the Surface Merchandise Wish Book or whatever it was called. I think I mixed those two up. Um, Went statically. We're good. We're good. Neil, I had a big wheel in Cocoa Beach, Florida. Loved it. It's my favorite. My buddy Gibson Boyer and I, down on the Riviera Road in Cocoa Beach, Florida, would ride the big wheels back and forth about the 8 houses between my grandparents' house and Gibson's house. And my grandparents lived on a corner lot. There were canals on the back, a little cul-de-sac on the front, but they had a pool, a kidney-shaped pool that had a really cool kidney-shaped track around it where we'd ride the big wheel. It was basically just flat concrete. And you had about a 3/4 inch lip. No, Tippy, back the fuck up. Can't go that way. You can't go over the soundboard. You can go that way. Hold on, guys. Tippy, you can't go that way. Nope. Come this way. Come this way. All right, guys, I'm fighting a cat. She's probably going to come over because she swatted at me twice. Y'all have never seen her go full on ninja. Come this way. I made you a space. Come here. All right. Anyways, big wheels were dope. Big boy, big wheels. Those things, they've made them so cool now. I don't know if y'all have watched any of the big drift races they have. They have them at Maryhill where they have skateboard downhill races and they have all kinds of stuff. And they take these, they make these big wheels. And then on the back, they cut a lot of this plumbing pipe, like this big drain pipe, and they cut it in little sections to put on the back wheels. So they're drift races. Let's find one. Hold on. Big boy, big wheel, drift race. Race. All right. Big boy. Here we go. I'm going to share it here in just a second. Here we go. That's what I wanted to say. Make sure I'm muted because there's always music. But have y'all seen this stuff? Surely you have. Tell me you have. It's called trike bikes. So they've got that pipe on the back tire. So it's like a big wheel tire. So it looks like a rubber, and they're much cooler bikes. But see, I mean, check that out, guys. Does that not bring you back to childhood? Don't step on my fucking soundboard. So anyway, that is the real deal. And those are the killer big wheels. Have y'all ridden those? Power wheels. That was probably the 90s. Were they you still do pedal those, right? Or were they like battery powered? Anyway, what I was talking about earlier was it's knife week. So, as you guys know, I'm not currently buying knives, but I get all the different sale notifications. I got my phone right there, but everybody from your manufacturers that you go to, you name them, to your retailers. You know, Rivers Edge Cutlery's having their big on-site this week. I think Cole's going. I don't if y'all I haven't been in any of his lives to see, but I think he's going. He'll probably have some footage from there. I know I saw a lot of people packing up to go. I think Ben's going, Belkin, a bunch of other so there are going to be a lot of sales coming up. So I thought what we could do is we could just see what the big ones are doing. There's one I don't like going to, but we can if y'all want to. Y'all can just tell me. But we're going to start and we're going to look at some of the upcoming sales. And I'm about to, I want to show y'all, somebody remind me to show you this Walmart knife that I saw on this other channel, a guy that I usually, Chippy, you motherfucker. I swear to God, if you knew how freaking frustrating that was. She's a menace. And because she'll do it again in a second, she'll run right back and she's not getting anything accomplished. I could see if she was going to get some food or going to get some water or going to look at, oh God, yellow cats outside, y'all. I totally ghosted it. You're going to have to give me 2 seconds. I'm the worst host ever. I'll make it up to you. I'll be back. We'll stay longer. We're about to start looking at knives. Hold tight. Well, that went well. I think she hit 2 triggers from what I could tell. Anyway, I didn't take any video of Yellow Cat. Most of y'all have seen Yellow Cat before. She comes up and demands, she'll sit at my door for hours. And today she was asleep on her owner's door. She's well taken care of. Chris Warris, channel member. I don't know if I said hey to you yet, or Stephen Clayton Jr. Howdy, howdy. Ed McKenzie, did you say, or excuse me, Ed Harrison, did you say, Fed Harrison, did you say how you were feeling, buddy? Gnarly Charlie. Good to see you, brother. Rody, 7420. Who else have I missed? I've missed so many people, guys. All right. So, what I thought we'd do is the one thing I shared today on DLT trading, and there you can also go to Tactile, but they did a restock. And at the time of the video, they had 2 Chupacabras. So I've not done my review on this knife yet. This is the same one I have. It doesn't have the lynch clip. You can get one on Tactile site with the lynch clip, or you can get the lynch clip from from Lynch. So we're going to go tactile. You can see where I got my image. All right. So this is the Lynch clip, which I think would work better because my only complaint so far about this is a knife that's made in Dallas, aluminum, uses a super lock, which is the same or the same lock that was released freely by Snex. That's like on the Wii Vision R and the Wii Vision FG. I'll break that out and show them to you here in a second. Magna Cut, I want to say it's 63, 64. And it is a knife that when it came out and I got an opportunity to check it out, I was very interested. I was not sure how the detent would be. And what I've noticed, I did an unboxing. The detent is so crisp. I don't know how, and I'm going to do a disassembly on it. But the shape is great. The geometry, tall flat grind, Magna Cut, aluminum handles. This is a big, for me, this is a medium to full size knife. It's by no means a light. When you think of Tactile Knife Company, it's probably the size of the Archer, but I would say it's got a little bit because it's got steel inserts. It's got a little bit more girth, but it's under $300. It's like 249 bucks. Is not cheap, but it's a USA made knife that's using my favorite lock, which is the Snex, done a little bit differently. And one of the complaints I'd seen on reviews before I tried it, and I agree, it could be done better. I've gotten very used to it. And you'll see when I do the review that there's jimping here. And it's just not aggressive jimping, right? And I don't know that you would want it aggressive. It's plenty, especially if you've had any experience with the Wii Vision R, which has no jimping. The Civivi FG has a little bit of jimping, but it's just such a great locking style. And to see it in a knife that's actually thick, but slicey, full size knife, I think this knife is a winner. I mean, I'm definitely, and I've been carrying it nonstop for about 7 days, doing my little piddly shit with it, which is activating it, flipping it, cutting cardboard, cutting paper, done a little hacking. I've got some wood, this big triangular wedge of an old oak tree that fell when they cut it up. That's all I could pick up. And it was like 80 pounds. But I whacked in the wood just to see how the edge holds up. Because I usually go in and I will sharpen them after I've used them. But this one I've only stropped. I love it. It's getting snail trails on the aluminum, which I expect that. And they've got it in both belt satin and stonewashed at, where was it? It was at DLT. Let's do that. Let's go back to DLT. Boom, boom, boom. And I don't know if y'all have seen, I'm trying to think who, I know there were some good reviews on it. And I think there were some people that weren't 100%. I'm very interested in that. I would probably opt for the satin. I like the stonewashed, but it's they're both $249. So you either got tumbled Magna Cut or satin Magna Cut. HRC is, that's a steel liner, 63, 64. And each one comes with a card that has the person that actually assembled it and the actual HRC of that knife. So if we want to go to sales, I think the way that they do it for National Knife Week, I know Blade HQ sent out a text today or an email. I don't know if y'all are on their list, but I would urge you, if you're even, I mean, I can understand if you don't want to know, right? I can understand if you are trying to, not be buying knives. I get it. But like Blade HQ does a sale every day, like a price buster. And today they were kind of showing what their next 5 the annexes one day. There are others. I was trying to find the sales. Here we go. So, and I don't think that stuff's going to show up yet, but let me go to Instagram because I think that's where I saw most of the. Because to be honest with you, and I'm embarrassed to say, y'all might know, y'all tell me in the chat, do you know when Knife Week starts? What is up, Edgy? Are you when you say washing, I use that bartender cleaner and my soapy stone in between sharpenings, and then I've got that, what is it called? The black stuff and powder and the metal or the glass thing where I reprofile my stones. Which are you doing? Are you reprofiling or just cleaning? Good to see you, buddy. And I crept and watched your whole live the other night. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And I don't know if you were able to see Professor EDC's Sunday video. I was going to send you a text about it. I was just curious if you saw it and what your thoughts were. Fed, it's so good to see you in here, buddy. I sure hope you are doing better. What is up, Manny? Affection. August, what? No, it's not. Oh, August 24th. Okay, so today is the 20th. So they run it for a whole week, right? It's not because I've seen, let me go back to my Instagram. That's what I was going to do. So I think where I saw the first post that showed 5 days worth of sales was at Blade HQ. And they're not my number one go-to. I'll tell you, they were for years, but not anymore. So they've got Monday, an arc form on sale. Tuesday, a Benchmade or Best Tech Man, OTAP Hell. Wednesday, the Microtech Annex. Thursday, the Kershaw Lucia. And Friday, the Silicone Shop Mat. I guess they'll throw that in for free, right? So that's a week of sales. Nothing there that's super, super exciting. But then you've got River's Edge Cutlery, which I'm thinking this weekend when they're having their on-site huge National Knife Day party with all these vendors there, that there are going to be some very good deals that'll be available online too, right? I don't know if I'm sitting here talking and showing shit to no one but me. Shane, that sucks, dude. I would feel a lot more for you if I didn't wake up yesterday with my guts just liquefied from 2 bad Mexican pizzas. Fucking crippled. So if we go to River's Edge Cutlery, I wasn't sharing anything before, and I apologize, guys. I was just going through and showing you some of the different stuff that was happening. The 5 days at Blade HQ. Let's see. I'm not seeing anything. I know they're having a huge sale. They're having their weekend get together. Where's the promotional shit on that? All right, National Knife Day, upcoming events, blah, blah, blah. Where? So there's nowhere to click and go buy the specials from. I mean, that's pulling a very small audience. Granted, I'm sure some people fly in outside of the vendors. I personally wouldn't. No offense, they're one of my favorite retailers. I don't get why they don't have. Maybe they'll put one up when it gets closer. Interested in that, not because of the price. I would never buy it, but I'm interested in the look. A little bigger than what I like. But I'm trying to, and I was going to ask Shane, 5-door, what's up? Shane, if you're still in here, do you ever talk or are you aware of Bald Man Knife and Tool? I found him on River's Edge Cutlery, and then started following him on Instagram because I like his little knives. Because I'm a weirdo. I like the little beefy, beefy knives. Where's the fucking Instagram? There we go. His name's Brent Smith. Very nice guy. All right, dude, if you're on Instagram, I'm going to share his stuff and I want you to follow him because I've had a couple of just texting back and forth with him. This is a little knife that I first saw, very expensive, right? It's called the Cicada, just a little simple kind of a paring knife in Magna Cut. But the ones I really like are these little guys, the F100 crew. But he does big boy knives too. He doesn't just do tiny knives. But they're very rustic. He does a lot of interesting stuff with his heat treats, right? Just like everybody else does. So he's doing those. But he seems like a nice guy. And he seems like somebody that might be a good person to partner up with or to share knowledge with. And I'd like to buy one of his knives. They're not cheap. Let's go to River's Edge Cutlery and see how much they're going for retail. And Shane, I show you this because your work is, you might not have the years, but you're right up there. And I want you to see what these knives sell for because most of these are going to be sold out. Again, someone that you haven't even heard of, which means they're a small maker by a lot of cases. They still got a few in stock. 270 for the little one I like is this little Albatross, the mini. It's a little 6.5-inch knife, Magna Cut and G10. Nothing fancy, but just a well-made, hand-fired USA knife. I like this one, but it's 235. This is a little bitty guy. This is a 5-incher, like I won't say the word because Shane will give me a hard time, but it's just a slicey little chickadee size knife. And I realize it doesn't make a lot of sense for the little bitty ones to be as expensive as the big ones. But I also would think, because I know when we'd make smaller, we charged by the foot for cabinetry but we'd use a lot more wood and press board to extend out each foot lower and upper, where you're just dealing with steel and handle size. So these sell pretty quickly, Shane's my point. And there's nothing, I mean, you're every bit as capable of in cranking out shit like this early on in the game. So reevaluate your passion pricing, because you can have passion pricing and still. I wasn't sharing the screen. I love it. I apologize, guys. I'm such a fucking dick. What I was showing you guys is the Bald Man Knife and Tools, a guy I'm really starting to enjoy talking to because he's very transparent. He's very open about how he makes his knives. Posts them on Instagram. Here's my kind of my favorite. Well, this isn't the first one that I liked, but they're not cheap, but they're handmade. I don't think he's using much CNC. He might be having his blanks water jetted, but we'll go back to his page and look. But that's the mini Albatross. So it's a thicker boy. It's in this off-road territory, which that's just a chonky, tonto-y. I don't know what that blade finish is called, but just a fiery, awesome knife. And the one that I was attracted to at first, before I even knew who they were, which made me follow them on Instagram, was this little, just generic looking slicey Magna Cut 6.5-inch. No, it's a 5-inch knife. So then I'm going to try to remember to share. We're going to go back to Instagram and I'm going to show you really what he does, or what he's capable of doing, I guess, maybe. And so I started I mean, every now and then he'd put up a post. Like today I shared a post. He has some that were dropping. Brent had these, I think these 4 here, he said were up on the site and live. And I just shared it because I thought they were cool knives. They're very similar to the ones we were just looking at River's Edge Cutlery. And then there's a little one of the cicadas, but he makes cool stuff. Pry bars. I'm not big into the pry bar scene. I respect them. I think they're probably needed by people that are real men. See, here's a real size knife. Probably a what SE4 size, maybe SE5. But I think he does it right. I think he's a good guy. Why do you think that, John? Because all of his comments are positive on most of his posts, and he's been very nice to me. I haven't met him in person. Sometimes you can just look in people's eyes and tell, and if you look at that, you're probably thinking, I don't know. But I think he'd be a cool guy to, make a friend with and learn about if there's anything that he's doing that you want to possibly do or learn from. He strikes me as a type that is not guarded on what he does. He likes for other people to do it. He compliments. When I communicated with him, he compliments other makers since he's looked at my page whose knives I feature. And he hadn't shit on anybody, which I don't know why he would. But anyway, Bald Man Knife and Tool. I think River's Edge Cutlery, and he has his site where he sells. Let's see if that's going to keep sharing. No. I don't know why. What do y'all know about Streamlabs? Maybe I need to switch platforms because this is limiting to what I can do. Even though the plugins have gotten a little better, it's still kind of just clunky. But this is kind of his site, right? Just a guy cranking it out. I want to say he's in, I'm not going to guess because I'll just butcher it. So he's bike business. Oh, that sounds slicey. I'm kidding. Where are they making these? Let's go to FAQ. I know these are made in the US. I don't know why it doesn't say it on his website. Go back to his Instagram. I'll stop sharing that. I'll share his Instagram real quick, and we'll figure this out. I know y'all probably could care less. You probably dropped off. You're watching something else. I don't blame you. I'm just going down this rabbit hole because I don't think he's in another country. Followed by Brent Smith, blah, 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 29,000. Where are you, Brent? Where's your, you don't have much of a Facebook profile. Maybe that'll tell me. I hate going to Facebook. I made a post on my Facebook today. It wasn't meant to be rude. Fort Myers, Florida. So that's where they're made, in Florida. So I put a post on my Facebook just saying, hey, I'm just not here much. I'm playing in a couple other sandboxes. Feel free to come join me, but it's mainly just knife stuff. I love you all. I just don't have time or the bandwidth to cover another social platform. So if any of you guys saw that, don't think that it had anything to do with you guys. You guys use links. I love it. I love it. Mexican pizzas are freaking good. They're really good. It's hopefully you won't get a colon cleanse. I've eaten, and I don't eat them as much as Pocket Metal thinks I do because usually I get screwed. I'll get screwed by their mislabeled hours 3 times out of 4. So that means 25% of the time I'll actually leave with Mexican pizzas. And last night or Sunday night, the whole thing was weird. They could have just slipped me something in there to give me a little, you won't do that again, which I won't. That's funny. You guys are bad. Is anybody up on the steel toe drama? I'm not going to bring it up again. I'm just polling. Is anybody up on the steel toe drama? I'll take that as a no. But the other knives I wanted to talk about, I'm doing a review tomorrow on a knife that's not normally a knife. It's not a John knife, right? But it's got I think, a very interesting place. It's almost as big as my Cold Steel 4 Max Elite, guys. This is a concept helix. And you would think hard use, button lock, that doesn't make any sense. So I set out to beat the hell out of this knife, both doing stupid spine wax, which the most important thing I did is this knife set up with two choils. One that's just a good cutter, right? This is a sub $50 knife, D2, mic harder, nothing special. But it's got this, it's a Mikhail or Michael Williamson's design. So you've got this really interesting jimped handle that give you great grip, and it gives you this chopper grip. I learned this on their website where you can really choke back on this. And I went out and I beat the ever living hell. I cut so many V notches in that old piece of oak that I came in, there were no dents in the blade, but I knew it needed to have a sharpening, right? Because I'd been running it through a lot, and I sharpened it. I didn't lose the Tanto because it did come with that Tanto. I didn't do a Kyle Coonley edge on it, but I'm really impressed with this knife for 49 bucks. It's not for me. The clip is great. The micarta is smooth and has kind of a cheap feeling texture on it, you know, that coating. But I can even middle finger flick it from down low, even though I wouldn't recommend it because the flipper tab works great. But if you're looking for a big knife that's kind of a bruiser, but it's not super thick, Mikhail Williamson's design for 49 bucks. This is an interesting knife. And then the other that I wanted to show off, and Jason didn't have a name for this knife. It was just a little one he was working on. I don't think he'll pop in tonight, but hopefully he'll pop in Friday night with some little knives that have matching pry bars. But this is just a little different knife that he did with two choils. You know, the J Cals, I don't have another one out here, are kind of identified by that single finger choil and that kind of tapered handle. Well, this one's a little bit of a departure from that. So I called it the carnivorous cricket because it's a little guy, right? It's smaller even than my chickadee. But what he got really right is the beveling around the jimping and around the spine that I'm not picking up right now, that's all done by hand with the file, is very well done. The hollow grind is sick. The plunges are even. It is. And I know most people don't like little knives, but this is a 4-finger knife and probably a 3-finger knife for bigger guys. She got a short blade, so a lot of the tricks getting it started. But it's super slicey. And I think it's just super cool. And then he did he did the Kydex sheath a little different this time, where his retention is in his jimps, right? So it locks in. I don't know if you can hear this. Where's my mic? Did you hear that click? And it didn't have the loop on it, but it did have the patch on it. I put the loop on it. He's got either green or black, little 3D printed Grant, what would you call that? Lanyard bead that he sends out with him. Great little value on a little knife if you like. And he does big knives too. I don't know if y'all saw the one I shared today. And then we'll look at Shane's knives. but this is like not my jam, but I could appreciate it for what it was. I like the tip. I don't know what kind of compound tanto weirdness Bowie you'd call that. And again, Jason's style's different. You know, there are a lot of different types. Because I look at Aries EDC, who I love and respect, and it's just a different type of deal, right? I'm not saying one's superior to the other. I don't like to pit them against each other, but there's the little carnivorous cricket, S90V, and then he had a bunch of blanks. I thought, anyway, let's look at this real quick. Because I like to see if Edgy's dropped any gossip, and I like to see what he's up to. Is that a Super Still Steve mug? Tell me that's available on. Tell me that's available on Spring. So Shane, when he started this journey, as I remember it, and I know there was an issue with starting slow, right? For not reasons that he didn't have the go get him, it was just funding his progression. But to me, and he said something in his Sunday Night Live that was not just inspiring, because I have a hard time getting inspired by Shane, but it was very true. You know, we should all be able to make something. And that hits really hard to me because I can make music. I can make things that aren't really tangible. So that's not the kind of thing that was going to help me if the shit hits the fan, right? Um, and I didn't know Shane knew how to make knives before he started making knives again, right? Um, so yeah, I want to talk to him and figure out. I'll come up with something to trade him or something I can sell and buy something from him because it's definitely worth it. And you need to raise your prices, Shane. I think everybody in the community understands that a fair profit's fine. You deserve it. You're not going to get rich doing it. You're not screwing anybody over, but you need to cover your time. I know you love doing it, so your time's kind of like just part of it. But we're not getting younger. Those are the best places to find them. I wish, and I talked to my buddy John at Knives and More here in Huntsville, and why he doesn't carry Strider. And I think you've got different camps. I think you've got fanboys. I think you've got people in the middle, and I think you've got haters. And I think he falls into the hater category. He's an older guy. I don't know the history. I've heard bits and pieces. You know, I've heard the word of what it was. Um, I haven't looked into it. I don't know. But I get to look at cool Protex and really cool old Benchmades. Speaking of, did y'all see the Benchmade landfill box hate video today from that C7BX guy or whatever? I found it interesting, and I actually part of me agreed with what he was saying. If and I don't know how many people throw boxes away. I'm one of these guys who doesn't really throw my boxes away. I keep them in case I get rid of the knife. Let me find him. I'll share the link. That way you guys can check it out on your own time. And then I'm going to share another link because I'm just curious. It was thought provoking for me. And I don't know if y'all have ever watched Professor EDC. He's Hispanic and he does 2 Sunday little knife discussions kind of with the audience, one in Spanish, the same idea in English. And he strikes me as a very good human being. And he had some interesting perspectives. I'm just curious what y'all's thoughts are. I don't have a thought one way or the other that I'd share right now. Um, but let me find this. There he is. There, that goofy. Let me go to his videos. Boom. I'm going to share one with you guys. And I'm curious what you think. Where is it? Where's the video? This is the latest. Maybe this is it. Yeah, this is it. Okay. Sorry, guys. Share. Copy. I'm going to drop it in the stream. Five Door, thanks for stopping by, buddy. Have a good night, man. So, this is talking about excessive packaging in knives. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. And I think a lot of times when I watch these videos, I'm not always on. There are a lot of things I don't like about the way that they're positioned. But this is a good video. Thought provoking, right? Do I agree with it? I'm not saying I do. I'm just saying I like to see content that asks questions. And so this is the one that I saw yesterday. Professor EDC is one of the channels that I really like, not to learn about knives, but just to hear his thoughts. I don't know if he's a philosopher, but I know he's very philosophical. And I'm going to pop this one right up here. I'm actually going to pin it if I can get over here and find it. Where is it? It's going to take a long time to get caught up. So, Professor EDC, y'all check that out when you get a chance. And if you're not following him, he is so undersubscribed, and most of his content is Hispanic, but he does put out US content, and he cares about, even though a lot of the knives that he talks about, he can't get. And he talks about the politics of it. He'll bring in culture. You know, he talks about the different cultures of the different people making these knives. It's really he's good. I mean, again, I'm a fan of his. Where is it? Why am I still? I don't know how far behind I am here. Let's see if I posted it in here. What would happen? Paste. Boom. Boom. Let's see if that's it. It is. All right. Let me do this. Let me pin it. And again, the only reason I'm sharing this is because I found it thought provoking. I do not take a side on it. I do not think it's what I think it is I think it's the perfect intro into talking about things, not necessarily that are eating you, but things that this is a guy in Mexico who loves knives. He's got a great collection. And he's on YouTube. He reads a lot, so he knows what the temperature is from any given time, right? And he'll just take the time to talk about it from an outsider's perspective. And I say an outsider, somebody who, again, doesn't have access to a lot of the knives, but he does have really interesting thoughts. And he doesn't take sides as much as just points out both sides. So I think he's a great proponent for debate, not hate. I've never heard him shit on anybody, but good people. And I think Professor EDC deserves everybody's follow if you get a chance. I pinned him up top just because he's that good. The other guys, the content's good, but I've also seen content that's made me go, but it's effective. You know, I think there's a lot to be said for a catchy thumbnail with your face on it looking surprised. It's just not me. I'll have to suffer. I just suffer. What I'll do is I'm putting out a video tomorrow that maybe 20 of y'all will watch tomorrow afternoon. I'm just dropping it in. It's a fidget video. but I'll use that for Friday night's giveaway, which you guys get an early entry. It's going to be the Helix for just a regular giveaway. I've got the original box. I've put it through its paces, but I did put a fresh edge on it. It's a good knife. And we might have some other crazy stuff going on. Got a big fixed blade. I just don't, it's going to be a pain in the ass and expensive to ship. But we might throw that one in there too, depending on how it goes. Hopefully, I won't relapse into liquid guts. And something in there was creating heat. It was brutal, dude. It was like just spew lava. And what he shows is how Apple, and I don't think Apple started out like this. I remember Apple packaging used to be a lot bigger, but it was always biodegradable. But they are very good about having and thinking about sustainable packaging. Um, but then again, I think a knife company is probably thinking of a long-term storage solution for a collector. Maybe they don't think we all have Apache cases or safes or things like that. I just reloaded all my Apache cases with those deficit packs or whatever, those moisture suckers. This summer's been brutal in the South. I need to probably get one just to suck it out of the air. But I've been doing rust maintenance videos. You guys might have seen them. You'll see more. The reason I film those is I'm doing them anyway. I take my knives apart, clean them up, and do shit like that. And I figure if it's a knife that I haven't done before, I don't ever expect people to watch it and never feel like, oh, John put out another video. I need to watch it. You don't. It's just going to live there so that if somebody like me in 3 years searches for taking that knife apart, they'll have a video of somebody doing it. Major Powell, it was Firea. And what's weird is it did not start out that way. It started out just as, and I guess it makes sense, right? As your body depletes a lot of its fluid, you're left with the spicy Taco Bell sauce, that hot sauce that's so good, the dragon sauce that makes your forehead sweat. But what it does to your sphincter is so much worse. And you can't drink milk through your, I guess you could butt chug some milk, which might have been a good thing to do to take the heat off, but I'm just not into that. But I will say about 4 o'clock today, I, without thinking, just ripped one, a poot, and I was like, oh, and it was dry. It made a little noise. I felt cured, vindicated all at the same time, and stupid for letting it rip. And drink water. I think there are a lot of people that agree. I use PCs. I wish I had a Mac only because I've learned with 3 apps, with my iPhone and 2 other apps, Bizart and Canva. And I'm not saying I've got good anything, but that's all I use to run my YouTube channel, except for my live setup, which is a computer. But it's not an Apple, but I can use my iCloud to drop big files from one to the other. But they all have their wins and their losses, right? They're all in it for something. You know, some of them, if they're not working a super locked ecosystem, they're going to exploit data because data is currency. This comes from a guy who trades in data. That's how we targeted campaigns. That's how we find somebody that's interested in male cologne over somebody who's interested in horse feed. I don't know why those two came up. BEDC, what is up? There is nothing like gambling and winning. And I'll tell y'all something else, just in a real quick aside. There's a guy, Bossman Jack, who's one of the biggest online gamblers who rage bets. I think I've talked about him, but it's made me want to open an online casino account with a small amount of money. Because if you sign in for $10, you get 100 in gambling chips or whatever. But I don't know if I can do it in my state. I don't think Alabama allows it. I know a bunch of states don't. Let me go to, what's the big one? Stake.com. Verifying I'm a human. Yeah, I'm a human. Because this boss man Jack plays a lot of dice, not dice. Yeah, dice where We use cookies. Okay, I want to see. We cannot accept customers from the United States. However, you are welcome to sign up for our social casino, Stake US. All right, what's that? Let's see. What online gambling is available in Alabama? Because see, we've got casinos here. Chumba Casino Online. Because see, this shit's crypto. It's all crypto based. So you dump 100 in it, it's gonna usually convert to Ethereum. I don't want sweepstake casinos. These are all sponsored. When it says sponsored up here for you uneducated, those are Google paid ads. So I bet you if I click on this and I go to the facts, we will find out that let's see. Well, maybe they have it running through an offshore. So maybe this one you can run from everywhere. Transaction verify, blah, blah. I'm sure at the very bottom it's going to say what states, hometown hero rules. Anyway, I've been interested because if you watch this guy gamble, he's notoriously a loser, but he's a big player. He gets probably $7,000 a week to gamble with, but he loses that instantly, like in a day. But he just won 180 grand in a day. Now, granted, he's probably lost more than that. When you look at his stake account, which he's been banned from that now, he's gone through like 6 online casinos. So there are a bunch of them. But it seems like if you use the logic I've watched him use, which is playing the odds of wins versus losses and then dictating your bet, but just not betting 2,000 at a time, doing it in $5 increments. That could be addicting too. I've got an addictive personality, and the worst thing that could happen to me is to put $10 in, start with 100, win 1,000, and then within 6 months, I will have lost 30 grand. Paul, fun is the reason for the season, every season. Some days are harder than others. Some things, a VPN would do it, Snowtrog, but I think some of these look like I'm going to have to investigate them, but I really don't need to. I probably need to stay away because watching this guy, let me pull up some Boss Man real quick. So he streams through Kick. He got banned from Kick, but let's go to videos. This is 17,000 views. And really, we need to listen to Boss Man because he also has a habit of smoking crack, but he's one of these weird people who doesn't get cracked out.
Struggling with something and you don't know who to hit up, please message me.
He's a nice guy.
I'll try my best.
But he's a
God, dude. I am done. I'm telling him right now. I quit. Loser. I'm gonna call him a loser. I'll call him a loser. I just did. I said, you're a loser.
He's talking to his sponsor.
Oh, my back hurts right now. I don't know why. Okay, let's go, guys. Hey, I want to give a shout out to my boy. Spade me. He gave me $100 on.
So here are the games. Hold on, let's get to some games. Here we go.
Yo, one more and I'm out. Oh my God. Okay. Yo. Yeah. Yo, let's go.
So anyway, long story short, every Boss Man stream starts the same. He'll win, and then he always gives it back. And then he always just has the same bitch session. He's got people in his chat that'll encourage him, like give him what they call a juicer, like give him $50 to keep playing. And if he wins, he pays him back. You know, he'll withdraw it and pay it back. But it's just, it's a sad existence, dude. But I mean, now he's got the, if he, because he supposedly, I haven't watched it, but yesterday, or the day before, he won like 180 grand. And he's with Rob. Thank you for saying, thank you, buddy. Yeah, Mad Yoko, he did. He's got holes in the sheetrock, and I think he's in. He's got a pending charge of. Kathleen, it shows up in my feed. I'm going to show y'all. This is called being totally transparent. I'm going to show you my YouTube feed if I go to my homepage, and you'll see the type of shit. And again, I probably have. So I'm into music, into knife shit. I watch some of this MMA stuff. I'm into this steel toe guy. But every now and then I'll get thrown something wacky, right? And when I get thrown something wacky, I'm that guy like this right here. I haven't watched this one, but this is where he quit again today. But it makes me want to click it. I don't know why. So it's probably one of my mental problems. It should be Marsalt, but I am smart enough not to try to. Yeah, that's what I do. If you stay miserable, it's so easy to get lifts throughout the day. It just takes the smallest thing. I'm glad Tan Cat left because I'd forgotten about him. That's where I just went. But yeah, there's some trash. And what it is if you watch, especially some of the commentary, some of the people that kind of analyze these people who have big audiences, you learn that our little corner of the internet is so sterile, even with all the shit that happens here. It's not brain rot. There's so much brain rot out there. And I'm guilty of watching it. I think I'll watch it to kind of for social commentary. I find it fascinating because people have carved out exorbitant, ridiculous livings. And they all have, I mean, they've all scammed their audiences of 8 million people on either cryptocurrency pump and dumps, all these other just horrible shit, but they still stay around. I'm talking to you, Logan Paul. I'll probably get a real copy strike for that, allegedly. But yeah, it's crazy. It's just absolutely crazy. But what I don't need to do, or any of us need to do, is watch it. If we don't watch that content, it'll go away. This is true. And I'll tell you something else, because I am a digital marketing guy, and algorithms will also feed you the opposite of what you click on. So I don't know what the opposite of that is. I probably clicked into one of the other weird rabbit holes that I shouldn't have been in, that was just as much of a waste of time, which then said you might like this, or this is totally different but kind of similar. You know what I'm saying? So it does find what you like, but believe it or not, the public, the internet people, tend to engage, i.e., leave comments on things that they violently disagree with, more so than just giving somebody a heart if they agree with it. Yeah, Matt, he got banned from didn't he get banned from Italy yesterday? I think he's ashamed of the US. That's what Ethan Klein was talking about today. I just watched clips. I watch clippers. Clippers are people that take all this crazy blatherverse bullshit and to condense it into just the most egregious shit, right? Jake Paul's also a good fighter. He's a good skater and a damn good fighter. Mike Tyson's going to knock him out. I believe that. I don't know if y'all saw the latest sparring footage where Mike sparred for 2 minutes and 38 seconds. And it's all on tape. Let's see. 3 spar. That's old. I don't know when it came out. Somebody showed it. Jesse on Fire showed it. And I can't show his stuff because he will strike me. But they showed Tyson I saw it on H3 too, because yeah, Ethan said he's his biggest hater, and he should be. I didn't know. I never watched his blogs because that's for kids, right? But jumping in Venice canals with people begging him not to. I mean, they've got a different culture over there. That's what people don't realize. I mean, what he did in Japan should have had him permanently canceled. But that dude continues to step in gold. Now, it's shit too, because he's going to be held liable for a lot of this stuff. Um, and again, I think Jake's the better brother now, but I still would love to see him get knocked out. And I don't watch fighting, but I always liked Mike Tyson as a kid. I watched him coming up. That was before the internet. That's when you'd wait for a fight. Kathleen, I think it has to happen. I think if they have to put it off again, the Netflix won't put up with it, and I don't think the public will put up with it because right now there's a lot of buzz. They had a press conference yesterday, and I do think there's some kind of agreement there, but at the same time, I think like Jesse on Fire was saying, because they showed at the press conference with Mike Tyson kind of punched Jake Paul in the chest friendlily and then pushed him kind of far. And because they are friendly with each other, but once they start sparring in front of that many people and somebody gets a good shot in, Mike Tyson's got an ego and he's got every capability because the power is the last thing to go. He's still got the speed. Let me go to Jesse on Fire. We're going to mute it. I'm going to scan to that one part because nobody's seen this. Everybody's been saying that Mike looks good in these 2-3 second clips. But where is he? Where is he? All right, here we go. Let's mute it. Mute, share. And I'm going to find it real quick because I watched this today. Skip. All right, so this is when he gets pushed. I don't watch that. All right, here we go. All right. So this is Tyson fighting a much bigger heavyweight, somebody who's allegedly Jake Paul's picked for his size. Come on, Jesse. Can't hear how much shit he's talking, but I really don't have time for it. I just want y'all to see a little bit of. So Mike's the guy going at him. This is like a minute and a half in. And so even if they're just because they're not wearing headgear, but even if they're out there putting on a show and Tyson gets hit, he's a fighter. He's had 56 professional fights. Something's going to trigger in him and he's going to go, "You're going down, bitch." And I don't mean that in a sexist way. I apologize, Kathleen. But anyways, I would not gamble on that fight. I don't gamble on sports. I don't gamble. But that will be one that will definitely JOF. JOF. Who's JOF? That's not Jake. Let's see. Let me go up here. Craig, what'd you get, buddy? Drop it off on us. What'd you pick up, my man? I've gotten very little new, but I've gotten very cool. Oh yeah, Snow Trog. I like him. I don't know what ever pulled MMA into my feed because I don't watch it on the regular. I never do pay-per-view fights or anything. Oh, he's definitely been doping. He dopes up to the point. Him and Logan, if you watch that Ethan Klein thing today where they show them 4 years ago doing their blog and then show their bodies today, I mean, even on Impulsive podcast when they had who they had? They had some old actor on or some musician and asked them if they were taking some certain steroid thing, but it was more advanced than that. It was kind of redoing your blood. And he was like, no. And they're like, dude, we do it once a week. So yeah, he's definitely been doping. But, I think I think those rules are different. I think up to a certain point, they have testing windows that start. That's what I think Conor McGregor was trying to wait to be able to get in, right? But he just couldn't get away from the yayo. Because once you go into that pool, you're subject to random testing. So most of them have trainers. They're using stuff that's very advanced that probably has a pretty quick, whatever you call it, get out of your system, and they get their advantages from it, and then they fight and probably take it to recover. Yeah, I think Logan, and see the whole WWA thing or whatever you want to call it. To me, for him to even say I can beat my brother Jake in boxing is an insult to anybody's logic. That dude's a pro wrestler. Not that it doesn't take talent. I mean, I'd say he's got it. He was a great wrestler in high school. I don't know if he was a state champion at 185 or if he was a top. I don't know what his deal was, but that was my gig in high school, and that's a competitive fucking sport. So I give him props for that. But then he lost all respect when he just started doing douchey stuff. Do y'all remember Dink Doink Coin? Thank you, Dean. I'm glad I am too, buddy. I'm still a little weak. I probably should eat something, but but the Dink Doink Coin, Logan Paul's audience is 10-year-olds. So when he's promoting this Dink Doink Coin, like 5 years ago, 4 years ago, all these kids were buying it because it was very economical. And so it went up for the first 3, 4 days, and then they did what's called a pump and dump, where the song, it's got its own Twitter page that hadn't been active in hadn't posted in 3 years. But Logan and the other investors dumped theirs, making the bank of all the investments from Dink Doink, and left everybody else with just it's crazy. Then you got the crypto zoo scam, and you've got the liquid marketplace that's now going to court in Canada. And then Prime just got sued for 68 million. And I'm not talking about one of the Forever Chemical lawsuits. This is from his bottling company. Prime has a company that negotiated when they were having such a big year to build a special line, and they're like a major facility, to build a special line for Prime, but they had to do a guaranteed 222 million cases a year, and they had to take delivery quarterly of the bottles. And they haven't fulfilled in over a year. So they're being sued for 68 million with a hard contract that they agreed to purchase that, and the penalties are what the plaintiff is trying to recover. And Prime sales are down huge. So let's do this real quick. Prime drink sales. Boom. Give me a graph. Give me a graph. I want a freaking graph. The rise and fall. Here's Fortune magazine. We'll call it. I don't know how credible it is, but we'll look at it. Oops. Oh, it's going to make me sign in. Screw you. I'm going away from you. All right. That's from 2024. Why has Prime been a bargain? Because now you can find it for $1. I was trying to find the their sales. Let me do something else. What has been Prime energy drink decline in 2024? Prime UK sales fell 50% year over year from 26.8 million to 12.8 million. They're being sued for 68. Okay. So that's what they were going to buy in bottles. So why is it just showing me? All right. It was once resold for $1,500 a can. So it's not going to show me a graph. See, I'm visual. I've got to see a graph or it doesn't work for me. But anyway, it's dropped off 50% in the UK because they pulled it. The reason that UK has dropped so much is because they've actually taken action against the fact that it's poison. So a lot of countries have pulled it because it's not healthy. But anyway, Logan Paul, if karma's real, should have, I mean, he's right up there. Ooh, the Cold Steel SR1, dude. I gave that away, one like it that was donated to the channel by Chris229. Fantastic knife. Spyderco Resilience. Swiss Tech. Bang. Thank you for reminding me. Did you get the fixie? Because let me show, I wanted to show everybody that. That's the knife that I saw. Thank you for reminding me. Swiss Tech. EDC fixie. And the reason I saw this is that same guy that I was just showing you, he actually had the packaging that they use. And this is a very inexpensive knife. And it's totally biodegradable. Let's see, Swiss Tech EDC fixed blade. Here we go. I'm gonna share. And this knife's 34 bucks. Let me share the screen. This is a Walmart brand. And I want to say it might be this one right here. $34.97, D2, micarta handle. Whoops. 6 inches, little guy. Wear it as a neck knife, or you can throw an ulti clip on it. And let's go back and look at CB, whatever his name is, and let's look at that packaging it comes in, because he shows the knife too. I'm just going to go to that, then I'm going to share it. Let me get it there first. I don't want to see that. All right. Damn it. All right. I know what happened. I got to go to his channel. Let's go to videos. Let's go to this. Let me find it. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry to talk to myself, but I'm really talking to y'all. I'm just wanting y'all to know that I'm with you. So let's go back to, all right, here we go. Share.
Out of paper. Look at what Swiss Tech did. This is a Chinese company.
This is where I saw it.
Hangzhou Star.
And this is at $34
that makes
knife.
these
Look at the
knives for
packaging.
Walmart. Look at their packaging. Just as beautiful as that Benchmade box. Magnetic closing. This is, by the way, a $30 knife. And or maybe $40 knife. And recycled cardboard. Look at this. And it holds a fixed blade knife.
So that's what made me kind of see that knife and think it was really cool that I'd want to try it out. Is that the one you got? Ooh, congratulations, dude. Neil, have a good night, buddy. Hope to see you Friday, man. Let me tell you something. I bought some knives from Amazon, and I need to do it again, but I'm not buying any knives. But I would just buy some that I would find and try out. And I found some great knives. I'm going to show y'all some small EDC fixed blades that I think are really good. Again, an EDC fixed blade, these small ones for me are for opening packages, for cutting shit that I normally cut with my folder, but I don't want to get my folder out. Doesn't take up a lot of room. But there's this brand on here, and they have several different blade styles. Let me find one. This one right here, Omessa. So let's do this. All right, so this is the clip point. This is the one I had. So that's a $26 knife, D2, less than 6 inches. It comes with this fake clip, which is a really good clip. It's a clone, which is the only thing cloned off these knives that I could tell, of this guy right here. And that's a $35 clip. But as we look at these, they've got them in Tantos. They've got them in a couple of other Tantos. And they're a lot on, like, this is the one that I like that's kind of got this Nesmuk. But they're all really highly rated. The clip, you can kind of be mad at it because it is a copy, but I think it's, I don't know what the status is on the, I'm not looking at that. What the fuck is that? So Omessa, and the other ones that I've purchased off Amazon are these Watchmen. Now these are, I wouldn't say cloney. Y'all tell me, Watchmen, the best slip joints. Now the little one is definitely, this is a Candura clone. I bought 2 of these, gave them both away. That is, if you've seen the SE Candura, that is just a D2 version of it. Let me show you what I mean. And then we'll go back to those. Whoops, where'd it go? God damn it. So that knife right there, if you look at the dimensions, 5.13, because I had them both together. So that's a little shifty, right? I mean, it's kind of the same deal. Where are my dimensions? 6.22. That's the box though. This knife, somebody won it. There were a couple things on it that I thought were gimmicky, but they're really not. The little ferro rod, you can take that off if you want to, but it works. It's got a survival whistle, which I would never use. Got a little bit driver, which you could use, but it's got a VG10 blade and a G10 handle, and it's very, very small. The whistle sucked, but for 44 bucks in VG10, I thought it was a win. If any of y'all are interested, let me know and I will drop a link in the chat. But the Watchmen series, I picked up, and brother G-Bizzle told me about them. So that's kind of SE looking too. But as you get into some of these, and these are all smaller knives. So this guy is 5.91 inches total. And that blade doesn't look like any other blade. Some of these others do. See, I think that looks like something, but I don't know what. But it's kind of aggressive and cool. I don't know what's going on the handle. Oh, that spine just comes up for jimping. Interesting stuff. Just I pointed out because it's different, right? And then what's even, if you go Watchman slip joints, if you just want to try a slip joint, I'll show you 2 that I've had and given away that were great knives, perfectly centered, VG10. This one right here. That's in my Carta VG10, 36 bucks. Great walk and talk. Very nice construction. And the other one I bought was this one, but it was in a different. Which one was it? It may be sold out. Yeah, the other one I bought was this knife, but it had a carbon fiber handle, $39. Warncliffe VG10. Nice sharpening tool, just a nice knife. And then they've got a lot of locking traditional type knives, but I don't know where they're getting their designs from. I know they're made in China. The other thing that's scary to search is titanium. I don't know why this is a trigger. Clone knives. No, let's do this. Let's bring the Demkos. So you've got that piece of junk. You got that janky junk. If you haven't taken a chance, Jared did a review on it. ZT Hinderer slicer. That's a ZT Hinderer. Stainless steel. I mean, read the fine print. Again, I picked up the Grow and got rid of it, but I bought 3 others because of it. That's kind of Conseco looking. Benchmade. Just, I just am surprised that Amazon is doing this without getting somebody sending them a letter like ProTech. That's a Newport, in my opinion. I've got a Newport right here. Down to the clip. But this one's junky. It is D2. But some of these come in, that one doesn't. But like some of these come in fake boxes. So the boxes are even misleading. Hold on. Let me find the Demkos. Some of these came in counterfeit boxes. Maybe they stopped that. But there's even Sabenzas on here, or what they're calling Sabenzas. And I would stay away from these guys for several reasons. The main being, don't feed into the hype, because you're not getting. I mean, if you just want to try a design, you're still feeding someone who's doing shady shit, right? Small Sabenza. I've seen some of these with boxes that are clearly, that looks like an Annex. It looks like they got the black box game going, but just if you search it, it's just disheartening. I mean, it's disheartening that our American manufacturers, maybe there's nothing they can do, but I would think since Amazon is a USA company, they could just send a simple cease and desist if they see one of their designs being violated. Or maybe they realize that people might be exposed to their design that haven't been exposed to the design before, and maybe they'll fall in love with it because it's not competing with their market. I don't know. That's why it's hard for a consumer. Yeah, Craig, I saw that. And I'll tell you, Grateful Panic, when he was living with me, he picked up an EMP EDC from AliExpress just to do a test on it because I had a regular EMP. It was the Nimbles, this one right here. And he ordered one in D2 for like $69. And it came in, we took it apart, and we were both convinced that it is made in the same factory. Probably they just run a fourth shift or fifth shift where they maybe use M390 and call it D2. But there's no doubt that it came from the same machines. And it could be that this is a machine that's pretty common. And once they had the plan, they could just crank them out. But I expected to see fit and finish issues. I expected to see internal differences in the scales and stuff like that. Not a thing. Not a thing. And these were, let's see if I can find it on here. I hate to even go to this site because it just inundates you with cookies. All right, let's go EMP EDC. Boom. And they're legit knives on AliExpress too. Like you can get Max Aces and other stuff that's legit, but I don't trust it. Now, Beard of Doom buys a lot of stuff from them, really nice stuff. Let's go. Let me do this. Nimble. My search is pulling up shit. Let's do this. Look at that. Look familiar? But yeah, and these are the ones that come in the Benchmade boxes. See, to me, that's just, how do we let that shit in the country? And this is M390. This probably came from the same factory. Maybe not. But that's probably close to what they cost U.S. companies to buy. So I'm just looking for the Nimble because I know they're out here. Sabenzas. I mean, just all kinds of clones. And original knives too, you know, so you'll see some legit stuff that doesn't look like anything else from legitimate companies. And from what I've learned from Beard of Doom is these are all different companies, kind of like Etsy. Some stores are totally legit. There's a Vero Impulse ripoff. There we go. The Overlord Dinosaur. That's not the one I was talking about, but that's a large Nimble. 106. What's the blade steel on it? What's it say? M390. So that's the same build that you would get Chavez, Dimco's. I mean, it's just, you know, I can see how there's a lot of anti-Chinese sentiment from American companies. But then, for me, knowing that Chinese don't respect, because of their cultural beliefs, copyright laws like we do, why would, I mean, you got to kind of expect that when you go into business with them, right? I don't know. I just think it's unfortunate. Here's the little one. Here's the one that Grateful Panic bought. That's the liner lock. That's the one he got. K110 M390. So I don't know what that means. Oh yeah, you get the M390 for 115. But when you look at them, they come from the same. I don't think somebody else is making them. But yeah, guys, I wouldn't recommend, because I've heard that even downloading the AliExpress app, you give away a lot of data. But they've got some, and they've got normal, real knives. Like this is a legit knife. That's a greenthorn. And then I know all those crazy knives that Doom buys, you can only get at AliExpress. But there's a lot of shady stuff. And the bad thing is, they're probably good knives to some extent. Anyway, I've gone too long there. Brandon, what's going on, buddy? I don't take a hard stand on that. I caught a lot of shit when I bought my Grow just to test, because I expected it to be a totally shitty knife, but it turned out to be great, the 225, and it was built well. So from that, I learned to appreciate the Strida design, which I never liked before. And then I bought a PT207 ProTech, little automatic. And then I bought the S&G, which is this sized automatic. And then I found this ProTech frame lock. And that's 3 knives I purchased because I started out with that knife to see if it would work for me. The same with the Tucson TS150. So when I first got into small fixed blades, Lefty was showing off the Chickadee. So I really liked the idea of a little fixed blade, but I didn't want to spend Chickadee money. So I found this little knife on they're out of stock right now. But no, this one is, you can buy. Okay, this is the carbon fiber. Mine was not, and this one's M390. Mine was S90V. But this is a little Chickadee sized fixed blade from Tucson, carbon fiber handles, M390 for $65. That's a lot less than $275. And it was enough to let me know that, yes, I will use one of these knives. And I had it appendix carried, and it was, it just worked. So here's the, that same knife, but the one I liked was the old G10 version with the black G10 handle. This is the one I had and gave away, and it looks like you can buy it now from Tucson. It's got S90V blade steel, and it's only $31. So I say that's not necessarily a clone. Take care, Kathleen. Thank you for hanging around, sweetheart. But I think if it's trying to see if a different style of gear is going to work for you, it doesn't make sense to buy a $250 Chickadee if you don't know if you're going to carry small knives. Now I carry a ton of small knives, and I've got 3 Chickadees because I realize they get used. I get a lot of fun made of me, but it is probably my most carried little EDC fixie because it's a great package opener. It's a great letter opener. It's a great cat food opener. And I just wear it to the right of my belt buckle. I've got an S90V, old one, a 20CV, and a Magna Cut with a Kyle Coonley edge. But I would have never thought I was into little fixies. But it would be crazy for me to try my first one, just like with my slip joints. The first slip joint I bought was an Ohio River Jack on sale. And I'll be honest with you, I've got it, but it's not my favorite. It'll probably be a member giveaway. But right after that, I bought a regular QSP Hedgehog, not one of Austin's exclusives that I carry now almost exclusively. But because I never thought I'd be into fixed slip joints. So then I bought a lot of Rough Rider reserves and less expensive ones. But I love carrying a slip joint. And this is probably one of my favorites. And the regular Hedgehog in micarta, you can get for like $56. Or you can go for one in M390. I think these are still on sale. The ones he's got left, let me see. Traditional pocket knives. They're not on sale now. They're $145. But that's a lot less than $299. And $2.99 is not bad because, I hear a lot of grief about the prices that Jack Wolf charges, but I was looking today on White Mountain Knives, and are y'all familiar with Essex? I don't know who they are, or I know they're nice fold or slip joints, but I don't know who. I guess Riot makes them. I know they're Chinese made, but let me find this because these are 300 and something dollars, and they to me don't look as good as Jack Wolf. So here's one right here, 325. The Essex Silver Horse line slip joint, M390, Moku tie clip. Okay, let's find one without Moku tie. All right, 295. That one probably didn't have Moku tie. But still, to me, oh, that's a locking knife. Okay. So that's going to be more like the Gunslinger. My bad. They're about the same. But still, talking to Jack or Ben, I don't think they're out there gouging people. I think they're paying more to have a specialty knife produced. Not everybody likes it, and that's cool. And I've only bought 2. I can't afford more. But I will tell you this. He was nice enough to send me his what was it called? The Midnight Fixie EDC to try out for a week and carry it and do a review on it. It didn't even come in a box. It just came wrapped up in a little box. I love that knife. I did a review on it. Shane gave me a hard time because of the price, which I understand, but I've got other Best Tech or, import knives. For example, this Vero was $285, which is $40 more than the Jack Wolf. Where is it? This little guy, this Scout, was like $235. And then I've got the Scout 2.5 somewhere, and it was $265. So my point was, yes, it was not an inexpensive knife, but it fell into line with all those other knives. For example, if we look at the new Griffin knife that I love, that I'd love to buy. Whoops. The new one is called, where is it? They're out of stock. But this guy's $260, which is about the exact same price as the Midnight. The Midnight comes with really nice packaging. I know that's not everything. Comes with a leather sheath. Let's see what the materials are. I know this is OEM by Best Tech. This has Kydex sheath. I'm not listening to that. Very nice knife, but my point is, it's going to come in that same range, right? So I didn't find that knife to be offensive. I think there are a lot of knives that are priced higher for whatever reason. And then you've got knives like TKLs, like Brass Brigade, like Aries EDC that aren't priced crazy, right? So I'm not saying crazy is out of the market. I can't put a time value on a man who's creating something when I don't know how much time and effort they're putting into it. It's not my place. It's just to look at it and say, that's cool as shit. One of my favorite fixies, and I thought I had a sheath that it would fit, but it didn't, is my little LT Wright Frontier First. It's a little Magna Cut, small knife that was $95 with a brown leather sheath. It's just a regular dangler. So I would like a sheath for it. But what a great value on an American made knife. And then I've got knives that I really like my Chickadee, or this little guy right here, which is probably one of the more ridiculously priced fixed blades, but it's OEM by Riot. It's a superlative. It's the Hella, just a little piece of M390, very slicey, very thin carry, very low profile, just a good pocket dropper. And this was over $200. So I'm an idiot for supporting that, but I saw the value in it at the time, right? So you'll see knives that are all over the board, especially when looking at fixed blades. So if we go to, and it doesn't, I guess it's the amount, the batch. Let's go to DLT real quick, because they're a good place to see just a range. And I know some of them are handles, but most of these are priced differently, not by handles. So let's go to DLT shot by. Oh, shot by fixed blades. All right, that's what I want to see. So these to me look like simple knives. Black canvas micarta, magna cut blade. That seems high to me. And I'm sure it's not. I'm sure it's worth every penny. And I guess the double black doubles the price. Nice knife. I'm not hating on it. But then we continue on, and you've got a Tactile Knife Company, Dread Eye, for less than $200. And then you got some of these big guys, which we can't really compare them. But when we get down to some of our little guys, those are pretty sweet knives, but they're way too big. My point is, you can find a nice Magna Cut knife for $95 and $395. And somebody with my eye, I can tell when they're using more intricate handle materials and laying them up with more layers. But outside of that, I don't see a big difference. The greatest example for me, the learning experience, was when I got my Bark River little micro Canadian. This is a little 3V knife. And I'd say I got one of the lower price ones, or mid-level price, because this one just had micarta, but it also had a green liner. So you could also get this knife with just micarta, no green liner, for about $30 less. I want to say this knife was around $220. They had this knife, same 3V, same blade, but for as high as $560, because the handle material was some exotic, right? So this knife ran literally from 185 to 5 something, and I couldn't tell much difference except for, yeah, that handle looks different. So that's something I'm still learning about fixed blades, but the ones I want to show you, they all look alike, except the prices jump around. Blade steel's the same. I don't know why they got so many of these. I'm getting close, guys. So these are little cheaper ones, and I'll tell you some other. Brissa makes some good knives. So LT Wright, this must be a bigger knife, because this is what I got my LT Wright Magna Cut for $95. They're typically much cheaper than some of the others. You know, and then that 150 range. But I've gotten some great knives from Amazon, guys. And I know I'm not the perfect guy. I mean, Erica would probably be better to say this knife is shitty, this knife's better, because I'm not out there beating them through stuff. But that's not my use case. I'm not seeing the knives I'm looking for, so I'm getting ready to get out of here. I'm gonna bail to River's Edge Cutlery. Did y'all come with me? No. We're going to go right here real quick. And I'm going to do fixed blades. And I just want to show y'all that I'm not crazy. So Essies are great values. And then you've got these Warlanders, which look like great knives. But $310. And I know it's because it's handmade. And I give the value to the man who's crafting that knife, where a lot of these are mass produced, right? But then you've got Benchmades for $432. And I hear the crew wear, but I'm not going to tell you that that's going to make the difference in the price. To me, it's just interesting. And I heard that from Dark Gravity a long time ago, and I need to get him on Friday night if he's available. But that fixed blades are the biggest profit opportunity for these companies. And see, I love this knife. I love these Watchmans, but $375 for AEBL. But what a beautiful little knife. And well done. I can't take anything away from the craftsmanship of that knife. It's just for me as a user, it's pushing the limits of what, when I was buying knives, I was comfortable with. Point is, there's some great fixed blades out there. I was trying to find LT Wrights. I'm just going to Google it real quick. LT Wright. And the Frontier First is the one. Here we go. Are y'all with me? Yeah. All right. These are all out of stock. But what I wanted to show you is if we can get down. Those aren't even Frontier First. What the fuck? It opened another web page, didn't it? Yep, it did. All right. So these are A2s. So that's not Magna Cut, but you can see the bone. They were 110, 110. Here's Magna Cut. Okay. This is like the one I got. And the blades are beautiful. The only downside for me, the sheath fits great, but I don't like a traditional dangler. It's a nicely made sheath. 3V. I mean, this is a great little knife, and it's American made, and they are, in my opinion, very economical. Small little guys, but a lot of fun. Really good knives. The Servius Riot, Gabe, is fantastic. Do they have those in stock? Hold on a second. Let's go back there. That's one, and that's another $275 small knife that I've really wanted, but I haven't had the guts to pull the trigger on it because it's just a little bit more than I feel comfortable. Let's go right here. Oh, yeah, they're out of stock, but check this little guy out. I think these are sexy because they have longer handles. And I'll show you one of my favorite. I think that's just a sick little knife. Compound ground, Magna Cut. You got a hollow here, flat on the tip. Let's go Servius. So they make other cool knives too. Just show me their scales. Let's go here. Let me share this. Boom, boom. And let's go Servius. What the fuck? I'm not dealing with this. All right, I can't find you, so you're out. But they are great knives. I'll tell you some other really cool knives, and I've got one of his old knives that was gifted to me, but I've been watching his new knives, and y'all are probably familiar with them. Concealment carry. No, it's not. It's concealed development. I think that's what it's called. Hold on. Bear with me. I got to find it. Carry development. Are y'all familiar with carry development? A fixed blade maker. I'll show you one of his knives. I've got it in the other room though. But he's come a very long way. These are his little guys. And these are his newer knives. I'm going to scroll way back and show you the one I've got. I love the way he moves that jimping around, but the one I've got is an old one. And just watching his skill just improve. It's a great little knife. Let's see. The one I've got is old. I think Five Door gifted me that when we did a sale. I think he sold me a knife and he threw that one in there because he knew I liked little fixies. Similar to that, very similar to that, but this is it. Very similar to that. It's a great knife. Just a little slicer, little small knife, and he does just some cool stuff. So if you guys aren't following Carry Development, I'm going to drop it in the chat. And if you're on Instagram and you like cool shit, he would be worth following. Rob 10 Ring, Brandon, what's going on? White River has some great ones. I've got the small game, and there was one, the caper, which was it called? There was one on Blade Binge last week. Let's see if it's still there. That I really liked. It's their little backpacker. Maybe that's what it was called. I bet it's still there because they were also selling. Was it a sheath? Yeah, they were selling a sheath for it too, separately, which I thought was weird. Let's see, where is that son of a bitch? I got a little fly flying around my mic. Sorry, guys, I'm just rapid scrolling in the background so you're not getting motion sickness while I find this naff. I could just search for it. That'd be better. Let's go White River. White River. Their packaging's good. All right, so he's selling. This is what's weird. He's selling because I did the same thing. I bought the knife, and then I bought the Kydex carry kit, and he should just sell them together. He's selling the Kydex carry kit for $38. He paid $45 for it, and this M1 caper for $164, which is a good price. I don't know, but I like this knife. My little small game is a lot thinner and longer. But if any of y'all are looking for a White River caper, I don't know what they retail for, but that seemed like a pretty good knife price to me. They've got some good Bark Rivers on there. I really like just browsing Blade Binge. And what I found, I think I've shared with most of you guys, when you see a price on Blade Binge, I was real bad about calling people out. I'd get in their messages and say, dude, you're ripping it up, right? Craig Vincent, thank you, buddy. Don't ever rush for me, buddy. Just know that you can jump on Friday Night Flicks and show your stuff off. We'll make a date. But it's just, I just, don't necessarily get it all the time. But when you're on there and you see a price and it's higher than you would think, right? I always message the seller. I learned that. And I bought 5 knives from Blade Binge, including one of my grails, my Friday the 13th Crewwear Lamia. And I got it for 150 less than he was asking for it, just because I told him I was very interested. I had cash and I wanted to be closer to table. I didn't mind him making a little over table, but could we work something out? And he was like, absolutely. I've had people offer to take the knife down and sell it to me for a much cheaper price because they're fees. And I never do that. I will pay the closest that we can get, right? I'm not trying to screw somebody out of a knife. I'm just trying to make it make more sense so I don't have to go buy a new one. And it's worked out. I picked up my Griffin Scout 2.5 there. I picked up my Lion Steel Best Man slip joint there. I picked up my Lamia there. I picked up, this was the greatest find from Blade Binge. I picked up this Kunwu Padre right after the initial pre-sale released. A guy who actually watches the channel bought 2. He bought a satin and he bought a stonewash because he didn't know which one he was going to like. He opened the satin first and fell in love with it. He listed this one. It had not even been opened. I saved $50, picked up one right then, and it had not even opened. I took the paper off of it, the plastic. So that is a Blade Binge win. And then that came from me reaching out to a friend, checking prices, because I was getting ready to spend a lot more for an Evo. And my brother from another mother, Carco, was willing to get rid of this one of a kind Pro X 1840 bill, made these scales, these carbon fiber scales. So Blade Binge has been my friend. There's other things I bought there too. I just can't think of any of them right now. It is, Gabe. And guys, that's a great knife. I watched the video and I do trust Stasa to a big point. And I know he gets a lot of knives. But I know him and I trust him, and he thinks this is one of the best fixies going right now. Griffin. Let me pull it up on DLT. I know they just restocked it. 230 in Ultim, 230 in Magna Cut. Here it is. But this is a slick looking knife. And like I say, I've got the 2.5 and I'll show it to you guys because it's got a different profile altogether than this. But these are OEM by Best Tech. I got piles of fixies. So this guy is 7 inches long. And this is the Scout 2.5. The Scout 2.5 is the perfect EDC size knife for me on the larger size. It comes in at 6.5 inches overall. But it's a little thin guy. And if we look back at this one, it is also a little thin guy, but it is a little bit more pokey stabby. And it's got a hollow grind. Big difference there. It has got a deep hollow. I'm a fan. I actually, Ultim's not my jam as much. Unfortunately, the titanium's a little heavy because I've got that. I had those scales on my Scout. I think I like the Magna Cut, one of the Magna Cuts. Oh, excuse me, the micartas, just because I like the way they feel. They're softer. But look at that hollow. For $230, yes, it's imported, but it's done by Best Tech and it's done very well. Yes, we were talking about that, Rob. And as a matter of fact, Amazon's been suggesting it to me. So let me pull up my Amazon because it's a special type and it will show up right here. It's this shit right here. And this is a bigger bottle. You can buy little tubes, like little 4-packs, but they're still expensive. But it's called Vibratite, and the key is VC3. So that's expensive. That's $27 for more than you'd ever need. But if you go Vibratite, VC3, you'll see these little tubes, but I haven't been able to find a single tube. Well, here we go. That's probably going to be regular. Yep. There is a 5 milliliter tube of Vibratite VC3 that they recommend for it. And we read that, I think, together on a Reddit. So all these have different formulas, but evidently the VC3 for some reason this is more guys, do you remember where we saw that? Was it on did somebody in here tell us that, or did we find it on Craig? I've never sold one. I had my, what's odd is I had my PMP to Titius on there. That was a 550 knife. I gave 500 for it because I used my 10% discount at White Mountain. But I tried to sell it at Blade Binge for like 350, and I had it on there for 2.5 weeks. And then my buddy A to Z EDC sells and buys a lot of knives from eBay because he's been on eBay for 25 years. He's got a great seller rating. He knows a lot of people to buy and sell from. And it sat on there for 10 days, had 15 watchers, and sold for $465. So it sold for 100 and something more. Brandon, I'm gonna have to look that up. The Streetlit. Best Tech Streetlit. I'm gonna show y'all a cool knife that I saw on Instagram that I then saw White Mountain Knives got a pre-order for. Best Tech Light. Ooh, yeah. Is this little claw? Am I looking at the right thing? Yeah, that is pretty cool. Pops out. Whoops, why'd I get that? Damn it. Yeah, I like that. Nice materials, frame lock. Very nice. Very, very nice. So let me go to White Mountain real quick because we're getting late. But I do want to show you to see what y'all think about this Miguron. Because I've always been a fan of Miguron, but this is something totally different. Let's go to new. Let's share. Boom, boom. Share screen. Newest items. And scroll. Scroll. There it is. It's called the Nagin. And I'm going to take you to Miguron's website or their Instagram because this is a hard use, thick ass, 8-inch blade thickness, almost 1/4 of an inch, M390, hand hollow ground, drop point, 5961. Gray PVD, 195 grams. Sam Lau designed it. $300, but let's go to did y'all come with me? Nope. Let me stop sharing. Let me share again. Go to Instagram. Boom. And let's go to home. And let's go to Miguron. So check this beast out. Look at that blade. Now this is a Miguron. Great fit and finish, but I've never seen them build anything with such oomph. Look at that. Not something I carry every day, but I don't carry my Medfords every day, but that's a beautiful knife. Look at that action. And then some more pictures of it. Unique. I like when something, and I'm sure y'all can probably point to 10 other things that look like it, but I think it's really, really kind of cool. And something else I think is really cool. And I haven't tried it, so I can't give it any kudos yet. But the chupacabra or whatever you want to call it has really blown me away. Does anybody know the story on that knife? That is the Mariner 2. And those thumb studs you can get in all kinds of upgraded materials. So like here, you'll see all the different exotic thumb discs you can get. Circuit Mokume, semiconductor. But what is the, what's the Mariner made of? Hold on. Let's do this. Go here. Let's kill that. Are y'all still with me? Yeah, good. All right. Let's see what we got here. Designed by Bob Tetrazola, smooth locking, blah, blah, blah. What's it made out of? MagnaCut, sheep's foot blade. Looks very thin to me. But then when you look at this, it doesn't look as thin. Liner lock, internal liner lock. Fantastic looking. It looks like a deep knife. I guess this might have been their first knife and they've brought it back, like the Mariner 1, Mariner 2. So $429, that seems high. Yeah, designed in the 80s, reimagined 2024. I'm not a fan of that. Again, I haven't tried it. But when you look at this knife, which I find amazing, for $249, or if you want a Lynch titanium clip, which I'll probably order, get it for $264. I think that's a much better value for half the price, me personally. But then again, what do I know? Because they have this knife that I reviewed that a lot of people loved, but for $600, I was scratching my head. I was scratching my head. I was $100 away from a freaking Oz. I was $100 away from a Lamia, $150 away from an Arius, and it was a pretty knife. It was well done, but I didn't get it. Did not get it. And then this little guy, I've always loved. Is this one flat? No. But this thing's so thick, I've heard. I've heard it's got very thick blade geometry, but a cool little knife nonetheless. So the bottom line is, guys, there are great knives out there. And in the next week, you're going to see great sales on certain knives. Not all the knives, but on certain knives. And one thing I saw today, and where did I see it? I saw a bunch of flipperless hinders. Did y'all see those that I posted? Let me look at one more thing before we go. Hold on. I don't know if y'all are into Hinders, but if I was buying right now, this is a 3.5 inch Hinderer Bowie flipperless. And it wasn't on Hinderer knives. It was on, let me get my stories. Hold on. Let's go to stories. Those right there. So where are they? GP knives. Let's do this. I didn't want to share that with you. I just wanted to find it. All right, let's share this. Boom, boom. And I know Hinders are expensive, but they haven't gone up in price. And I kind of appreciate that. So don't want the auto. Let's go to new. That's the easiest way to find it. Damn it. New knives. All right. So all these Bowie non-flippers, they've just got the thumb studs. You don't have the flipper down here. And they've got them in, I always look at the back color, right? So you've got them in stonewash blue. I thought there was some working finish in there. Maybe not. Maybe they're all stonewash blue. But these are one of the knife shops I'll look at in the morning just to see what's going on. Is I like to browse River's Edge Cutlery. I like to browse DLT Trading. And I look at not just DLT Trading's new knives. I like to look at DLT Trading's restocks, because one thing I've noticed, that's where I found my Microtech stitch was in their restocks. This is early on when they were hard to get, but their news. So if you go up here and you look at their new knives, you'll see a lot of their coming drops. You'll see, the latest and greatest stuff that's hit, but they also have late great stuff that are really popular knives that have been sold out. So for example, you've got some Shiros here. You've got the Griffin and the black canvas micarta that we were just looking at. You've got the two chupacabras that I posted today. However you pronounce that. And just some different knives, right? Different nano oil back in stock. I look at both sides, right? I look at both sides. I look at what's coming in and what's been restocked. But if you guys look at my purchase history through GP Knives, Blade HQ, DLT, River's Edge Cutlery, Knife Works, even though I didn't get as much from them, I've gotten great service from all of them. I've had minimal issues from all of them, but they've all taken care of it. That's why I always tell people, if you see a knife on any of the sites that I say are affiliate links, they all have return policies, right? So if you return the knife, if you don't like it, it's all good. They'll give you store credit, or in most cases, they'll give you your cash back to your card or whatever you paid it on. But yeah, it's just, life's too short not to try stuff out, right? So if you see something, even if you know you don't want to keep it, you might want to flip it, try it. If you don't want to flip it, return it. If you don't abuse it, they're not going to mind. You're not able, that's one of the advantages of dealing with reputable online stores. They know that they have an advantage of being able to pull outside of their community to have more opportunities to sell. So they've got to provide a level of service that's equal to or greater than that store in your hometown, where if you took the knife back, they're going to switch it out with you or give you your money back, because they're in the relationship business, as all these knife companies are. If you bought from them, you guys are getting, emails from them and stuff. But guys, I'm glad we hung out tonight. It's getting close to 1:00. I'm not going to keep you all too late. I love each and every one of you. I hope you come Friday night. We'll have a couple of giveaways. I know this one's being given away. I might have a honking fixed blade, unless I save it for another night. But we'll come up with something. Guys, I love each and every one of you. All I ever ask is, please look out for the guy or gal to your left. Please look out for the guy or gal to your right. Look out for each other. go forward with love in your hearts. Thanks for putting up with me. Thanks for hanging out with me. I love each and every one of you. Peace.